Luigi Mangione. There it is. There it is. First of all, that perp-walk, stupid. Stupid. No matter how much they try, folks, it's just a murder. It is one murder. There are thousands of them. The perp-walk, I mean, for you who don't know, New York does not usually allow cameras in court. But this guy, they do. And then the perp-walk. And the mayor went there, mayor of New York, who is having trouble for himself, went there to be a part of the perp-walk. And take a look at this scene here. If they were very, very concerned about his safety, why are they looking at him and not the audience? Yeah, let's listen into this thing.
Is the indictment, sir, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
It's the first time we're hearing from suspected murderer Luigi Mangione himself on the shocking allegations wagered against him. He says he didn't commit murder in the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, and Mangione's defense team has a lot to say too.
And we're going to fight these charges, whether it's in the state or federal, to the fullest extent.
Mangione appeared in New York State Court early Monday morning for an arraignment on his state charges. All of this comes after a nearly month-long saga, starting with the murder of Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan on December 4th. Thompson was in town for an investors meeting when he was gunned down in broad daylight outside of the New York Hilton Midtown. The case immediately gained national attention, not only for the murder, but also for the nationwide manhunt that followed for the suspected gunman who seemingly disappeared. He only left behind several shell casings at the scene, with the words delay, deny, defend written on them. So early on, it seemed that the suspect may have been making a statement about the United States healthcare system, and
Now, we did have a discussion regarding unibrows. Now, lucky for me, I don't have one. My family have a lot of them. My grandfather had to shave here and here to not have a solid unibrow all over. And yeah, I don't know. How fast does unibrows grow back? I don't know. Just a question that deserves to be asked.
Investigators say all of that was backed up when they arrested 26-year-old Mangione and found his notebook. Inside this notebook, Mangione apparently wrote about his intent to whack the CEO of one of the insurance companies at its investor conference. So Mangione was arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where he now faces several charges, including
Tammy asked if she can get a wrench. Folks, yes or no? Tammy, does she deserve or need a wrench? Yes or no? In the chat. Brooklyn says no. Yes. Sadie says yes. Gigi says yes. All right, here we go. It is one right there. Done. You have a wrench. If Gigi says yes, then it's a yes. Valhalla says yes. Okay, Gigi and Valhalla says yes, then it's a yes. Yep. You now have a wrench. Congratulations.
Forgery and possessing instruments of a crime, because we can't forget he was found with a ghost gun when he was arrested at that Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's. Late last week, Mangione finally waived his extradition and was flown over to New York, where he faces both federal and state charges. The federal indictment was unsealed just last week,
Val.
and we broke it down
By
right
the way,
here.
hello Valhalla. Hey Val. This is number 7, gin and tonic. This might be a drunken stream. Do I need guests on, folks? Do I need guests on? I need guests on. Val, get on here. Excited. Hella. You covered this? Will Call Magic says I'll have to wait at least an hour before he can join the stream. My stream depends a bit about how long I stay awake. Oh no. Oh no. I saw that. Wheel of Regrets. Are we seriously going to go Wheel of Regrets, folks? Yeah, all right. Let's go. Wheel of Regrets. Pick a wheel. Let's see. Oh, I have an add-on for the Wheel of Regrets. Hold on. I'm just going to go fetch it. And I need a spoon. somebody sent me this. Fermented Korean chili paste. That needs to go on the wheel of regrets. I'm trying to open the motherfucker. It really doesn't want to get open. I need something sharp here. Sharp thing. This is a sharp thing. Yeah. While drunk, I'm opening a box with an axe. What could go wrong? Hey, it worked. You have to be careful with axes. Okay, the picker wheel. Chili paste goes on. All right. Share this instead. Ooh. Sorry. Now, here we had today, and let's see, we got $100 from Wendy H. Let's show it. $100 from Wendy H. $5 from Diamonds and Henna. Iron Rabbit gifted 20 memberships, and Megan Fox gifted $10. Jennifer Devine with $20. Merry Christmas, thank you for you. I can't be anybody else, thank you. Fire Pixie gifted 5 memberships, and Horse Welfare with $5. I don't know how to add up that. But let's spin the wheel of regrets. It's a sour shot. It's a sour shot. This is the sour shot called Små Sure. Little sour. This is not a little sour. But once you get past the sour thing, it's actually quite tasty. Dun dun dun. Cheers. Oh. Oh. John C. Stop him! This could be a show ender. Oh. All right. I have no idea. Every $50, okay? Every $50, I spin the wheel. All right? That is in Super Chats, gifted memberships, or PayPal, or the Buy Me a Coffee thing. So you mods, put the links up. Put the links up. Whew. It's the 26th. It's not even a Friday, but well, it's 26th for me. It's 25th for you. Hey, GD, thank you. Replaced. Buy me a coffee. If you no, usually it's PayPal, but I do know that not everybody has PayPal. But buy me a coffee works in the States as well. So I have to check that as well. So, okay, I have that page up. Now let's go back to the Luigi and things.
On law and crime. But in case you missed it, here's the Reader's Digest version. The federal cases Mangione faces are charges of murder through the use of firearm, 2 stalking charges, and a firearms offense. All right, I know you're multitasking when you're watching our videos, but if you're out running errands, listen up. I have to tell you about this new app called Upside that gets you free cash back on daily essentials.
Oh, we don't need the commercials.
Once again on the state charges. Now, a reminder, those charges are first-degree murder, second-degree murder, second-degree murder as a crime of terrorism, 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree, and a final count of criminal possession of a weapon in the third degree. This was the first time we saw Mangione in street clothes instead of a jumpsuit as he was marched into court. The hearing began with Mangione entering a plea.
Charge you with the crime of murder in the first degree and other related charges. How do you plead to this indictment, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
After that, we learned some new info almost right away, that the state case will come before a federal case.
As we understand that we have primary jurisdiction, and we have been informed by the U.S. Attorney that they intend on.
Okay, with those 5 memberships, now we are $35 away from a spin on the wheel, because my memberships is just $3 a month. So when gifted 5, that's $15. Yeah.
Allowing us to try our case first. So with respect to whatever goes on there, as the party with primary jurisdiction, the trial and the sentencing will take place here prior to anything that takes place in the federal system.
Up next in the hearing, Mangione's defense, headed by Karen Agnifilo. We'll let her explain what concerns she brought up to the court.
First, we'd request immediate expedited discovery in this case. The people have had this case for about almost 3 weeks, and that's more than enough time to gather as much information as they can give to us, especially now that we have 2 proceedings that we have to answer to, one of them being death eligible. So we are requesting that we get immediate discovery of the New York City Police Department and FBI and federal and state documents. And the second thing I want to make a record of, Your Honor, is I'm very concerned about my client's right to a fair trial in this case. He's being prejudiced by some statements that are being made by government officials. Like every other defendant, he is entitled to a presumption of innocence, but unfortunately, the way this has been handled so far.
We have a guest! We have a guest! We have a guest. It's Hella! Hey! Hey, Hella!
Hello! How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're a little intoxicated, maybe?
Tiny bit. Tiny
Just
bit.
a bit festive? Tiny bit festive. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you covered this? You have... Oh, everybody, this is Hella, also known as Excited Utterance.
Yeah.
Please fill us in. What's going on here?
Okay, so this is his arraignment, and he is with his lawyer, who happens to be the wife of the lawyer who's representing Diddy.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're a power couple, right? So you can imagine how, completely loaded they are. Now, interestingly, when she came out as being his lawyer, there was a lot of flurry online about how they're both, the 2 lawyers, they must be disgusting and evil because they're both, representing the most reprehensible people. But then when she is in court here, I don't know how much of it you've played, but she's awesome. Like she's really sticking it to him, and especially sticking it to the mayor, because the New York City mayor is not very liked right now. And the way that he got out there and was behind Luigi for the very long and dramatic perp walk. Have you shown that?
Well, we've shown a bit of the perp-walk, but we haven't gotten to when she talks about it. One thing that is, people always reference, oh, how can they defend these people? It's really easy. You get paid for it.
Well, there's that. And also, there's a set of rights that these people have,
Yeah.
and you need to defend them. And if you don't defend them, then the government's just going to throw them out there for the worst possible charges that they can throw at them. That's what they will do.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's very simple.
yeah, and already we covered the Delphi case and the press conference afterwards, where they blamed the defense for some certain things. The defense is obligated to put forward to zealously defend their client.
Yes.
And no matter how you put it, oh, how can you do it? Well, because the founding fathers told us in the USA, that's how you're supposed to.
Yeah.
The presumption of innocence. And so, the only person in a trial that has rights according to the Constitution and Bill of Rights is the defendant.
That's right. And it's disgusting, actually. Sometimes the judges or even the prosecutors will say, "Oh, but the rights of the state." No, the state has no rights. The state has no rights. The right is of the defendant. It is the state versus the defendant. The state is already well and truly on the upper hand, walking right into that courtroom. The state is the winner because they have far more resources. They can put a person to death. They can kill a person.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, the defendant can't possibly outnumber the state in terms of resources and ability to win against the government. They just can't.
No.
So they need to be defended. I don't understand this whole thing about not being able to live with yourself because you are defending someone else's rights. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
No. I mean, I do labor law, and sometimes I have to. My clients are sometimes some of the most reprehensible people out there. But it's easy because protect their rights, hold the opposing party accountable. For they have all the resources, they have all the what do you call it, the what's it called, the burden of proof. You have to hold them accountable for it, because sometimes even with the most reprehensible clients, they are actually innocent in that particular case.
Yes.
As in the Murdoch case, he might be guilty of.
Interesting.
He might be guilty 99 times out of 100. He might be guilty. That doesn't mean you automatically presume his guilt in the last one.
That's actually a really good example, because he will either way be in prison for the rest of his life. So therefore, why assume that he murdered his wife and child? Because that's a much bigger thing to put onto somebody, that they murdered their wife and child, right? So there the state put forth 2 to 3 weeks of this evidence of financial crimes. The fact that the judge allowed that to come in made him look like this terrible person. And he is a terrible person.
Yeah.
But it takes a much more terrible person to murder your wife and child. And that's why he's fighting that so vigorously, because he says he didn't do it. And therefore, if he didn't do it, let's just say for a minute he didn't do it. I believe he didn't do it, actually. If he didn't do it, and I think the state didn't prove that he did it, if he didn't do it, he wants that off his record.
Yeah, and also if he didn't do it, somebody else did.
Someone else did.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And for me, when it comes to the Murdoch trial, there's a lot of evidence that shows he did it, except the evidence that shows that he didn't. He was nowhere near. According to the phone data, he was a mile away when his wife's phone took the final steps. He was a mile away.
Yes. I should get Crime and Cask on this channel with you.
Sure.
Jim, because he's written a whole book on how it's not possible that one person could have carried out that crime.
Yeah. Now, would it be possible that he was involved? Yeah, but that's not the state's case.
No.
That's not the state's case. And when it comes to this guy, his presumption of innocence should be there. The perp-walk is... There's no need for a perp-walk. A perp-walk is only there to influence a potential jury. That's the only reason.
It's getting a person from here to there.
Yeah.
This is the interesting thing. That's all it's about. It's just about getting a person from A to B. That's it. It shouldn't be a display.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Have you got it? Or should we watch it later?
His rights are being violated, and as you know, Your Honor, there's a wealth of case law guaranteeing his right to a fair trial, but none of the safeguards have been put in place yet here. In fact, it's just the opposite of what's been happening. He's a young man, and he is being treated like a human ping-pong ball between two warring jurisdictions here. These federal and state prosecutors are coordinating with one another, but at the expense of him. They have conflicting theories in their indictments, and they are literally treating him like he is like some sort of political fodder, like some sort of spectacle. He was on display for everyone to see in the biggest staged perp walk I've ever seen in my career. It was absolutely unnecessary. He's been cooperative with law enforcement. He had been in custody for over a week. He waived extradition. He was cooperative at all accounts. There was no reason for the NYPD and everybody to have these big assault rifles that, frankly, I had no idea was in their arsenal. And to have all of the press there, the media there, it was like perfectly choreographed. And what was the New York City mayor doing at this press conference, Your Honor? That just made it utterly political. And as Your Honor knows, under Lauro v. Charles, the Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit has held it to be clearly established that these staged perp walks to the media, unrelated to a legitimate law enforcement objective, is unconstitutional, and I submit there was zero law enforcement objective to do that sort of perp walk. There's absolutely no need for that whatsoever, and frankly, Your Honor, the mayor should know more than anyone of the presumption of innocence that he too is afforded when dealing with his own issues. And frankly, I submit that he was just trying to detract from those issues by making a spectacle of Mr. Mangione. And there are consequences to this. He has a right to a fair trial, and I just want to put on the record statements that the mayor made publicly about my client. Nothing saying alleged, for example, and he said, I wanted to send a strong message with the police commissioner that we're leading from the front. I'm not going to just allow him to come into our city. I wanted to look him in the eye and state, you carried out this terrorist act in my city, the city of New York that I love. And he wanted to show symbolism. Your Honor, he's not a symbol. He's somebody who is afforded the right to a fair trial. He's innocent until proven guilty. And the mayor was talking to jurors, future potential jurors that elected him. Those are the people that elected him, that he is talking to and calling this man a terrorist. So, Your Honor, I just want to make a record of this and put everyone on notice that this has to stop. And my client is entitled to a fair trial and the presumption of innocence.
Here's how the
Okay, so I didn't know that the mayor had gone and spoken publicly and not used the word allegedly, right? And said that he wants to put this man up as a symbol and say that you won't walk into my beloved New York City and terrorize people, right? How could he do that? That is appalling.
Yeah. That, if we go in, because I'm wearing the duckies, that is witness tampering and jury tampering.
Yes. It's appalling. Now, a couple of other things that are happening is people are commenting a lot. You know, I always have a look at the comments because I have my show on Sundays. A little plug there, 4 p.m. Eastern. So, little bit of things that people are talking about. They are tweeting. Notice that the attorney and Luigi seem to have the same outfit on. And she said coordinating. So she goes coordinating, and then you suddenly notice that they're wearing this burgundy white thing that's happening. It's very interesting what's going on here, these optics. And then you notice that there's these two like thug officers behind her. And then when they do a wider shot in a minute, you'll see there's 4.
Yeah.
There's actually 4, right? So what's going on? Do they think he's going to spontaneously combust?
Yeah. There they are. And they put them there because, as they claim, protect him.
Oh,
Then why are they looking at him and not the audience?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so stupid.
It's just ridiculous. And also, one more thing before we keep going. We never get to see inside a New York City.
No, New York City
Ever.
does not portray. They don't allow cameras in court, but all of a sudden they do.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the way she called out the mayor for detracting from his own legal issues. How big of a burn was that? She's good.
Yeah,
I like her.
yeah. And this, it's a reason why these defense attorneys, because now up in Pennsylvania, his attorney there first opposed the extradition, and then we're not anymore. That was a delay tactics because they needed his team in place when he got there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Assumption of innocence.
Here's how the judge responded.
All right, well, as you know, I have very little control as to what happens outside of this court. But I can guarantee you, as I guarantee every defendant that comes through these doors, that the defendant will receive a fair trial. And we will carefully select a jury if that time comes or when that time comes. But yes, you should expedite discovery.
And the state replied to all this too.
Your Honor, the discovery in this case is voluminous, to say the least. I have never seen a case with such volume of evidence, aside from the issue of the quality.
That's a lie. Folks, it's a murder trial. It's a murder trial.
Please.
Voluminous? No. This, I can guarantee you guys that this prosecutor has prosecuted embezzlement. That is vast. This is, folks, yes, it's an enormous case. It's a CEO of whatever, and this guy, it's one murder. On this channel, we have covered multiple murders. We have covered serial killers. This is not a big case in that regard regarding to evidence. It's not. It's a murder case.
Also, in a minute, he's going to say that, can you just give us a external 2 terabyte drive? 2 terabytes. That's not much, actually.
No.
2 terabytes.
The YSL trial, 7 terabytes.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
So in this case, 2 terabytes only tells me that the pictures they have are high resolution. Because high resolution pictures takes up a lot of space.
There'll be a bunch of CCTV from a lot of streets. Most of it's going to be useless, right? So this is normal. Like prosecutors always love getting up in front of, especially cameras, and saying, "We've got terabytes of evidence. We've got documents like piled up. We've got all this stuff," and it makes it sound like you've got so much against the person, whereas it's really just like data that most of it's useless.
Yeah, I mean, the thumbnail to this stream, let's see, is... Yeah, I have no idea. 1280 times 720 pixels. That's a good number of megabytes.
It'd be
Let's check it.
1.2 megabytes.
Let's see here. Collected files. 1.5, yeah, 1.5 megabytes. The music I played in the beginning of the stream, 2 megabytes.
Yep.
So 2 terabytes? Yeah, not that much if you have a high resolution things.
Look, they did it in the Brian Koberger case. They said we have like 30 terabytes, 300, or something like that. It was just ridiculous. They kept going on about all these terabytes that they had,
Yeah.
right? It's because they conducted a bunch of search warrants. And when the search warrants come in, they just give you everything. Because they did really broad search warrants. And that's actually part of the reason why there's a motion to suppress now, because they did really too broad, right? You can't just go a catch-all for 3 years, right? And I'm sure that's probably what they've done here. They've gone and done a catch-all, and it would be all of his Google searches, all of his Spotify downloads, everything that attached to all of his Google accounts, for example. And I mean, when you sign in with Google, any app that you ever use. And then there's all the CCTV as well. And that would be 24 hours a day around that time where he was. And there was 10 days, wasn't there, that he was in New York?
Yeah, some of that sort.
Yeah. It's just, it's funny the way they make it sound like it's all evidence against him. Whereas it's just discovery that the lawyers on the other side are going to have to sift through to find if there's anything exculpatory in there.
Of the evidence. And I suggest to counsel, because we have a discovery portal, but given how much evidence there is against this defendant, it would be smarter if counsel could provide us with a 2 terabyte external drive rather than rely on the crashing of the portal.
This is so stupid. Folks, 2 terabytes is not that much. I can download a 2 terabyte movie in less than a minute.
No, you couldn't. A terabyte's 1,000 gigabytes.
I have 500 GB download thing. Yeah, maybe a bit. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's not that much, but it sounds from him, it would crash. But that tells us more about the capacity of the site.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with the portal that you could crash it that quickly?
Yeah. That's so stupid.
He's being so dramatic.
Oh.
Respect to statement and identification notice, we will be giving that notice within the next 15 days. We're preparing an ADF. We'll do our best to expedite discovery, but I'll say that with redactions and with the volume of it, we're hoping to do it as best we can this is not a usual case in terms of the thousands of hours of video tracking and the like, and the fact that...
And there it is. It's not that the case is voluminous. It is all the video evidence. That's the voluminous, which they claim tracks the murder to this guy. And video, that takes up a lot of space. It doesn't mean that the investigation in itself is voluminous.
No, it's just tricky. That's all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of redactions to make. There's probably a lot of like children's faces and things like that in there. They have to go through the whole lot and fix it all.
Yeah.
So okay, and maybe lose a few things as well. Unfortunately I just lost that little bit of a video that had someone else shooting. By the way, I actually think they've got the right guy. I think it's. I'm not saying that there's any conspiracy going on here, but I just love the way there's this theatre that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with all the unibrow things and everything, but I mean, yeah, I think this will be more. It's a clear cut, but as somebody said, how are you going to work around the fact about the person he did end? There's tens of thousands of people who have been denied the coverage when their loved one needed surgery or medical attention. Maybe hundreds of thousands. So, how do you avoid jury nullification?
That's a really interesting point. I mean, jury nullification's one of those things that supposedly doesn't get talked about. You don't discuss jury nullification. Jury nullification happens in the jury room. They don't collude to it. It just happens like magic. Yeah. I've never witnessed it. I've not seen it. Have you, Nick?
No, not on any of my streams. I mean, on my streams, mostly people get convicted. Or in one case, we had that guy who won the
directed verdict.
Directed verdict, yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
The one judge with balls. He was great.
Yeah. But in this case, I mean, looking at all the people who looks into this, now, I have a slightly different angle here because the CEO of this medical whatevers came from nothing. Yes. Literally nothing.
Yeah, he worked his way up.
This guy is a trust fund kid.
Yeah.
This kid is the inheritance of billions with a B. Now, I had this discussion with Steve Gosney.
Yeah.
About people who are easily getting themselves into cults of sorts. Mm-hmm. People who search for something. A trust fund kid with no purpose, who search for purpose, are so easy for these cults to get. We can take care of you. And so did he get involved himself in one of these cult-ish where everything is blamed on the medical provider thingies? And yeah, maybe, because apparently
yeah,
it's hard for us to understand that don't have that thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that his mother had some illness that they didn't, not United. Her mother was with United, but he wasn't. But then I've also heard that the family owned some nursing homes that United screwed over in some way.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going out there, and I can't wait for more information to come out of it. We heard about his back surgery, but again, if that was failed to him, he at that point in time, he was under the age of 25, which means he was still covered by his parents' insurance. Yep. which would have been easily corrected through his insurance. And they weren't even insured by this CEO's company. So
Okay,
why?
maybe it's not about him though, and I feel like he's trying to be a figure of. He's trying to make a statement, right? So this
Yeah.
is his moment to speak out for the injustice against the American people. He's actually trying to do something in some way kind of good, but he's done it in a fucked up way, basically, right? So the way to solve injustices is not to go around shooting people, but he has started a conversation. It's a really important conversation. This has to happen because as long as I've ever known any Americans, they've always been very upset about the American healthcare system. And it seems to me that this has just brought this giant cyst to a head because it's horrible. Like the things that are being said out there, people are like, well, yeah, this CEO is dead, but at least we're talking about it.
Yeah.
We're not only responsible for discovery in this county, but in Altoona, where the arrest was made and where several officers were involved. And we're in touch with those people, and we're going to get everything council's entitled to. As to other issues, I think a 30-day adjournment to see where we're at, and to, of course, council's aware of the various notices. We have notices as well. I take it that the council will abide by the statutory limitations on their notices with respect to any notices they believe to be appropriate. As to council's record on the mayor, basically repeating what the mayor said, I don't know how that advances the ball. We will comply with our ethical obligations with respect to trying this defendant's guilt in this courtroom and this courtroom alone.
All right, lots to break down in this case. So we've got to break.
Do you have the perp-walk?
Let's see here.
It's such theater. It's just, you need like some sort of like music behind it, like something out of like perhaps something from a DC Marvel movie or something, because it has been there is a scene in Batman where they catch him and there's the mayor and all of these like really like armed like militia that are around him, and Batman's been caught and they bring him into town, and it just like it looks so.
Let's see here. I'm going through Luigi perp-walk here.
I might have
I'm
it.
trying to find a news story that will not.
Luigi Mangione.
It's the Luigi, eh? I'm just having a look through my playlist. I think I've got it somewhere.
Yeah. Let's see here if we have the.
I cannot wait to hear what his defense is. Like, he's going not guilty, and I don't know. Like, maybe it's to try and strike a deal, perhaps. I don't know. I can't wait to hear what the defense is. I really can't. Chat, what do you think?
I mean, look at. They alerted all the media.
Here we go. Oh, this is great.
I mean, and it's not necessary. It really isn't necessary to have all of. Oh, it really isn't necessary for the perp-walk to have because if they really fear for his security or anybody else's security, why did they call everybody in to cover it? It's not necessary. Yeah, as Judy says, it's a parade, not a perp-walk.
Parade. Yeah, it was like, let's go to the parade, everybody. Okay, I'm just going to send you a link on DM, Nick. There you go. Now he has shackles on his he had shackles on his feet, which made it really slow to walk. So, and they had to get from the helicopter pad all the way through to the street, which is quite a long way. And that made it even slower, which is even better. But the mayor was like right behind him. So if someone were to like shoot, then the mayor would have probably copped it if they weren't a good marksman.
Yeah, let's see here.
Look how slow it is. Look how many people there are. Brian Koberger had to. This is so silly. How many people get shot in New York?
Oh, thousands.
Simping on inmates was my bit. Oh, we haven't talked about how hot he is yet. The fan clubs. Nick, the fan clubs.
Oh, yeah. I need to send an invite to Dali.
Yeah. Yeah, Gigi, thanks for posting my link. On Sunday, I'm going to be going through a lot of the responses to all of this stuff on Hearsay for Days, 4 p.m. Eastern, and we will be looking through some of the simping on Luigi. I have been making.
Apparently, there were 20 women in the courtroom that day.
Yeah, that's because that's all the seats there were. There were plenty more waiting out there. And one other thing. Apparently he's gay.
Oh.
Yeah. But he was in the closet. He's been outed. How nice is that?
Why? Why was that necessary?
To be outed, that's not very nice, is it? Yeah, someone found some messages or something from him because he was not posting about it or anything like that. Apparently, he has a preference for dark men.
Oh.
Yeah. So now the gay crowd are like, Luigi. He is a good-looking man.
Sure. Burberry says there was a lookalike contest in Central Park before he was even caught.
There was. And that, yes, before he was caught, and they all came in their hoodies with their eyebrows out. Oh, stop it, Dali. You're just jealous.
Poor Dali.
He is. He's sad. There was okay, so it was bizarre half Irish, but the thing is that, like, there was a reward and people thought he was awesome. Like, the people who were going to do the lookalike contest were like, this guy's great. Like, at least people are talking about the health thing.
Yeah.
Look, we're still watching it. He's still walking.
Yeah. Here's the thing. New York jail have a helipad. They could have gotten him directly to the jail, not to the harbor.
Yeah.
So this was a planned.
Of course.
Perp-walk. Yeah. I mean, it's so stupid.
The mayor doesn't just hang out at the helipad. I want to find where the mayor said that thing about you won't come into my town and terrorize in the city I love, terrorize
Yeah,
the
I
city
mean,
I love.
a terroristic
find that.
threat. Folks, it's a murder. I mean, all murders are horrific, but I bet you between then and now, something more heinous has been going on in New York. For instance, burning a woman alive in the subway.
That happened.
Yeah.
And then people are asking, why is no one helping? Oh, well, I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder why nobody was helping since New York decided to prosecute people who help detain dangerous people.
Yep. I wonder. Gee. Ridiculous. Yep. I hope Daniel Penny makes a lot of money.
Yeah. I may have or may not have tried to reach out to him, but I guess this little channel is just a dot on the radar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he'll have a few big interviews coming up. Maybe some books, some miniseries. Good. So he should. And they tried like hell to get a conviction. They tried. They even changed the charge at the last minute, didn't they? The jury came along and said that they were hung, and it's like, okay, well, how about this then?
And he's still walking. And there's an old case during Swedish cops were in New York at the time, and this happened. Oh, sorry.
That's right. They dismissed the higher charges. Ilya T-Bone. By the way, Dali's changed his name to Ilya, then he changed his name to T-Bone.
Now, this is a number of years ago. I think this is, 9 years ago.
You're Swedish.
4 Swedish police officers on vacation responded to the subway driver's call for help. So they detained.
Uh-huh.
Are you injured? No. Yeah, so that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When Swedish cops on vacation in New York City detained a person in the subway. Now, did they do the chokehold? No. But if there were 4 of them. If it was only one of them, then yeah, it would have been a chokehold. Because you know what? Cops are trained on doing the chokehold too, because this is a dangerous individual.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do, apparently.
Yeah.
So you can't have a golden for it.
And 10 years ago they were heroes. And Daniel Penny was charged.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't a cop, he was just trained.
And like you throw in the racial thing as well. And yeah. I mean, I don't pretend to understand the how that influences things. I know it just makes it so that he looks like some sort of monster.
Mm.
Look at, they're still walking. This is insane.
Mm.
This is absolute insanity. Look at him. He's just like, what's going on? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Oh dear. There's so much fan art as well. There's all this fan art of Luigi,
Mm.
and like, you know, just him as a god, and then him as like some sort of sex figure, and that, and it's just, there's so much. It's funny.
Yeah, but again, going back to the thing, jury nullification, because
Yes.
this perp-walk, what it resulted in was more people in support of him.
Yes, because now he's like some sort of folk hero. Well, he was already, but like some of the comments have been like, the press is having a really hard time making him look bad.
Yeah.
Right? Because every time they do this sort of thing, it just makes him look better. Right? So this is cutting off their nose to spite their face. He is being put up on a pedestal, and it's not doing what they want it to do. It's not making him look like a criminal. It's making him look like a hero.
Yeah.
It's not working. This is not working, guys. You need to stop it. Like, it'd be better if you just put him away and let it all die down. He would get forgotten about, and then he'd go to trial like anybody else, and the evidence would speak for itself. He shot a man. Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, very simple. Like, I think the facts are there. If he wrote a manifesto, he went to New York, he had all the things in his backpack. Done. He matches the description. Why this display? This is so stupid. They're playing right into his hands. They're making him exactly what he wanted.
All right.
What's this? Did you see the bizarre interviews they did with the inmates shouting answers out the window? Oh, that! Nick.
What?
Nick, did you see when he was in Pennsylvania? He was in he was actually in a prison, local prison there, and News Nation did like on location news piece outside the prison, and the prisoners inside were calling out answers to questions about Luigi in the prison, right? So they were asking questions like, oh, so do you want Luigi out of there, or do you support Luigi? And they're like, no. And then they asked like, what's it like in there? And then they started saying inhumane. Did you see that?
No.
Oh man, hang on, listen to your link. But they, like, the News Nation people, of course, they didn't really talk about the inhumane thing because they don't really care about that. But it went completely viral. Yeah, and they had blinking lights, Brooklyn. Yeah. So the other prisoners in their cells, they were watching it, and they were blinking their lights to answer the questions.
If you find it, please share it, because
I will. Yes. Yes, I am just okay. Hang on, Luigi's conditions suck. All right, sure, yeah, okay. Yes, sending it to you now. Yes, News Nation were very pleased about that little moment. There you go.
Let's see here.
Oh, Prison Interview Ghost has also posted one as well. That might be a longer version of it. Don't know. Mine's only a minute.
Share screen, News Nation. Dun, dun, dun.
This was just from a few hours ago, and here they are, 10 o'clock as promised. They said earlier today, tell Ashley Banfield that Luigi is watching at 10 o'clock. I mean, obviously, you know, that's just a hard roast at this point because they're not near Luigi in any way.
Can I just ask the guys, if they can hear me right now, to answer yes or no very loud. Does Luigi have television in his single cell?
No.
They said no, right? Obviously, we
said
have a little
no.
bit of a
He
delay,
doesn't
but they're
have a TV,
getting.
and that's-
Yeah, they're getting the questions, and they're giving us the answers. So
getting
Luigi
it.
does not have. Wow, this is quite something. This is the strangest interview I've ever conducted.
Me too, Ashley. You know, according to the Department of Corrections, he's got his own solitary cell. It's not solitary confinement, but he's by himself. It's not dorm style. I'm not sure exactly what those guys got going on in terms of a living situation. It sounds like they're all clustered together. Isn't it interesting to see what accommodations that they have?
Look.
They got their own light switches. They're obviously watching TV
They're all doing
past
it.
any sort of 10 o'clock curfew, you know. Yep, they're
Oh my
doing this for
gosh,
you.
look at
They're
this,
watching
Alex.
News Nation at this very moment.
But let's see here. Somebody shared this.
Yeah, Ghost has got a better one. 'Cause they did it again the next day, right? But they weren't. They were idiots. They weren't prepared. They didn't have that Daniel guy on the scene, and so she starts asking these like long, convoluted questions about whether or not having Luigi there changes their day-to-day life and stuff. And they're all like, yes, no, yes, no. It was just stupid. It was so dumb.
Alex Capriello standing by to do the big report for us tonight. So some interesting interaction you had with the inmates from over the chain link. Tell me about it, Alex.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable moment. And Ashley, I can tell you at this very moment, I can look over my left shoulder up at the top of this prison wall, see through a window, and see that your face is right there. They're watching Banfield at this exact moment as they promised they would. All right, so let's backtrack a little bit, okay? So earlier today, I was reporting outside this prison wall. So, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if you just heard that, Ashley. That was them screaming.
I just waved. Alex, I just waved, and that was the...
Can you hear that?
Hi, guys. Say hello to Alex Capriello.
They said, we got you, Alex.
Oh, God.
Ashley says hello.
I can't believe this.
There they are. I can't tell if you can hear this.
Oh, we can hear it.
There you go.
Hi, guys.
Look up at that window.
Let me yell them a question. Alex, hold on. Let me yell a question. Guys, if you can hear me clearly,
Okay.
Do you guys have any sights on Luigi Mangione? Just yell yes or no.
Have we have sights
I don't know if
on
they're
him?
answering.
What a silly question.
They're flickering the... They're saying no. Go
They're
ahead,
saying
ask
no,
another
they
one.
don't
They
have
can hear you.
sights. Okay. You'll have to translate, Alex.
This is
All right,
amazing.
so earlier today I was reporting outside these prison walls when all of a sudden I heard my name, and I couldn't tell if they were, you know, catcalling me or heckling me or even saying my name whatsoever. And so I started reporting on Luigi Mangione's prison conditions as I was finding them out. And as soon as the live shot was over, that's when I turned around and they said, the conditions suck. And so that was my confirmation. Oh my gosh, they're watching News Nation at that very moment. I pulled out my camera, I recorded, and here's more of that interaction. Take a look from earlier today.
Yeah, right. So she should just ask yes, no questions. I mean, come on.
Ashley, they're going nuts in there right now watching this video on playback. This was just from a few hours ago, and here they are, 10 o'clock as promised. They said earlier today, tell Ashley Banfield that Luigi is watching at 10 o'clock. I mean, obviously, you know, that's just a hard roast at this point because they're not near Luigi in any way, as confirmed by the Department of Corrections earlier today. But at the same time, they've picked a trusted news source to watch this very high-profile national case. Of course, they're watching us.
It's crazy. Hey, Alex, can I ask you a favor? Can I just ask the guys, if they can hear me right now, to answer yes or no very loud? Does Luigi have television in his single cell?
No.
Unreal. They said no, right? Obviously, we have a little bit of a delay, but they're getting they're getting the questions and they're giving us the answers. So Luigi does not have.
This is so amazing.
This is quite something. This is the strangest interview I've ever conducted.
Me too, Ashley. You know, according to the Department of Corrections, he's got his own solitary cell. It's not solitary confinement, but he's by himself. It's not dorm style. I'm not sure exactly what those guys got going on in terms of a living situation. It sounds like they're all clustered together. But as far as Luigi's accommodations, he's by himself. He's got a bed. He's got a chair. He's got a toilet, a sink. Again, he's not with the rest of these guys, but he's not in solitary confinement.
Okay, so I'm going to read out the menu, and then I'm going to ask the guys if it was any good, the dinner tonight. So the breakfast was fruit, grits, bread, eggs, and coffee. He had the choice. The lunch was porcupine meatballs, potatoes, bread, and fruit. And tonight's dinner, mac and cheese, pasta bean casserole, and stewed.
Porcupine meatballs? What the fuck?
Americans, help us out. What the hell is that?
Porcupine meatballs? What the fuck is porcupine meatballs?
What is that?
Is that roadkill meatballs or what the fuck? What?
What's that?
Porcupine meatballs. What?
I'm scared.
Porcupine meat? Folks, I need to know. Is it actual porcupine?
It comes out looking the way it is. Okay, that's like in Australia having koala meatballs. That's really bad. What the hell?
I see.
Please tell us it's not real.
That was a live trolling. No. They have it on. What's cooking in prison? Breakfast, fruits, grits, bread, eggs, coffee, lunch.
What's grits?
Porcupine meatballs.
Wait. What's grits? What is grits?
Grits is
really
grits.
Grits.
It's sort of a porridge. It's a porridge kind of thing.
Jeez.
But porcupine meatballs.
Is this like made to sound bad? Like, is this like? Are they actually saying? Is actually like making the menu sound as bad as it can, so people think, you know, because people in prison that don't have good food? Or is it really that bad?
Melissa says grits is ground corn, almost like polenta.
Gross.
But seriously, porcupine meatballs? What the fuck?
Do they look like little porcupines?
I have no idea.
I need to see this. I'm going to Google it.
Porcupine meatballs? I have no idea what that is.
I need to Google this thing.
Meatballs with rice in them? Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
Okay,
rice in the meatballs. Okay, but it sounds really, really weird. Porcupine.
Okay, they look like poop. Yeah, Google it, Nick. Gross. An American casserole dish of ground beef and rice meatballs cooked in tomato sauce. They were a staple during the Great Depression, requiring only a few basic ingredients: ground beef, uncooked long grain rice, gross, onion, and canned tomato soup. Ew.
Okay, so the picture is up here is apparently porcupine meatballs.
Ew. Yucky.
Oh, no.
Gwynnie,
tomatoes with broccoli.
No.
So, guys, was dinner good? Yes or no? What did they say? I heard terrible. I heard terrible.
They're saying heck no. They're saying BS. They're saying terrible. They're saying that's not what they are eating.
Oh, man, I totally can't get over this. I'm going to explain what porcupine meatballs are in a little bit, just not right now. Okay, I need to get to some serious business. Guys, you're going to have to just listen to the report up there. You got to give Alex a moment of peace for a second. I got business to do here. It's about your neighbor who's in that institution with you up there. So the Altoona police, they say that there were threats made to officers by the members of the public for having arrested Luigi Mangione, and maybe some citizens as well had threats that they're investigating. Have they made any identifications on people who've made these threats to police officers and to citizens, maybe the McDonald's employees?
No, and they're considering this all a part of the larger investigation, so they're keeping a pretty tight lid on that. What they do say, though, is that their officers are receiving threats, and also the people at this McDonald's have received threats. In fact, I've seen reporting that maybe even some of these McDonald's employees have been asked to step away for a time, just so that way they don't get increasing pressure. And this really all has to do with this sort of fanfare and mythology that's surrounding Luigi at this point. There's so many people online that are supporting him for his actions due to their own complaints with the healthcare industry as a whole, or even we've seen some people just commenting on his looks and how handsome he is. And so he's built up this following, so to speak. And so there's threats being made towards these police officers for actually going out there and apprehending him. But then also this McDonald's is now caught in the fire too, because it was the location that he was caught. So much so that it's also received just incredible negative feedback and reviews online. I've seen it plummet, 1-star reviews for this one specific McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. People saying that it's got rats and just doing whatever they can to sort of support Luigi and you know, bash everyone else that got in the way.
Yeah, okay. Other question here about some wanted posters that have shown up all around New York City, putting other CEOs' faces up, other healthcare executives' faces up, saying that, you know, these guys are wanted too, and then putting the big red X over Brian Thompson's. Is there any word on whether this is something more sinister or just, you know, really, really tacky freedom of speech?
Yeah, sinister at the very most and distasteful at the very least. These are being seen on parts of lower Manhattan, not just Brian Thompson, but other CEOs of Fortune 500 and mega companies. Basically, it's not hitting or landing very well with the people of Manhattan. Obviously, they're still trying to come to grips with what just happened 1 week ago, right in their city in broad daylight. And so basically what we've seen is many people are pulling these down, shredding them, and getting rid of them. So rightfully so, this seems to be a threat towards others, but no authenticity to them. It does not seem as if this is a real hit list, so to speak.
Okay, I have another question for the guys behind you, okay? Can I pop it out there? Hey, guys, don't yell until I finish the question.
Go ahead.
So the question is about Luigi Mangione. He's fighting extradition, so he's going to be in that jail presumably for a little bit longer, but eventually he's going to end up going to Rikers. I don't know how many guys behind you in the walls there have been to Rikers, but it's a bit of a hellhole. So the question I have for the guys, if you could just yell stay or go, do you think that Luigi should just, waive extradition and get on with the process and go to Rikers, or should he stay in that prison, Huntington, with the rest of you guys there in Pennsylvania? So it's either stay or go. Just yell that out. And again, we have a little bit of a delay.
Oh, this is amazing.
Alex,
I'm sure you heard that
I
one,
could hear
Ashley.
them saying go. Was it go? Were they saying go?
They're saying go. They're saying go. They say get on with it. Go to Rikers Island.
Wow. I wonder if they mean go because they say that the place they're in right now is a hellhole, maybe worse, but I don't know. I mean, Rikers is pretty bad. We got the comparison coming up, one of the inmates.
I'm not sure if you heard them say it just now when I was talking about the threats of rats in McDonald's. Somebody just said they got rats in here too. So it seems they're not very happy with the food here or the accommodations. Maybe we need to send an email to the Department of Corrections about that for tomorrow morning.
Any last comments you can hear from the guys there? And maybe just swing the camera up and see if you can see the shot that you showed me before.
Can you swing the camera up there, Greg? They want to try to see.
Yeah, the view that you're seeing, so we can see where the guys are yelling out the windows.
So go ahead, see those flashing lights?
Yeah, zoom in if you can. Is that Greg, your cameraman? Just zoom in as much as you can. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to see any faces in those windows, but rest assured, gentlemen, we can absolutely hear you.
But isn't that interesting, Ashley?
You got your interview. Are you guys doing the strobe light for us? Was that the strobing was for us?
That's what I'm saying, so. Ashley. Isn't it interesting to see what accommodations that they have? They got their own light switches. They're obviously watching TV.
They're all doing
past any sort of 10 o'clock curfew, Yep, they're doing this for you. They're watching
Alex.
News Nation at this very moment.
They're putting on they're all flicking their cell lights on and off. No, keep the camera over there. I want to see how many there are. That's fascinating to me. Greg, can you pan back over?
As you're told, man.
Pan back over. I want to just see how many of them are
5, 6.
Doing their strobe lights for us. All right, well, I do want to say thank you, guys. I really appreciate all of you giving us your attention and also answering our questions as hard as it was. You certainly were heard tonight. We're getting this again. If you're just tuning into News Nation right now, this is the prison inmates at the SCI Huntington watching our show and responding by turning their lights on and off to show us that they are in fact watching and responding. And the most interesting thing I think I heard them say, other than the food wasn't great, was that they think that Luigi Mangione should waive the extradition and move on and get out of that holding institution and head on to Rikers. Alex, this is one for the record books. Thank you for...
That's amazing.
Okay, so here's what I find really interesting about this. Ashley Banfield and News Nation, we have every one of those dudes convicted before trial any other day of the week, right? So News Nation is not some sort of bastion of support for the rights of prisoners. They couldn't give a shit. Right? They could not give a shit about those people whatsoever. And it came true the next day because they went back the next day and those people were yelling out, the conditions in here are inhumane, 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 right? And the comment section lit up with people saying, hey, Ashley, maybe you should do a report on the conditions in the prison. No response, nothing, right? Because once Luigi left, what's she got to care about? She couldn't care less. She got her hundreds of thousands of views out of those videos. Done. No. So, News Nation, I don't have much respect for them. They are guilters.
Yeah,
So,
it was really interesting to see that they could actually speak to the inmates. I mean,
yeah, and I hope they didn't get in trouble afterwards, the inmates, for that.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.